All right, what is going on, my dude? So I recently took my 6-star Angela, duped once, up to rank 2. I did this after Summer of Pain. I believe I took up Mangog, Ultron, Angela, and Shang-Chi to rank 2. And I've actually used her a couple times already. I brought her to AQ. There are 2 variations where I run buffed up in 2 sections. So I've been using Angela, and she's a lot of fun, man. Now, one thing about her, a lot of people say she needs high sig. She doesn't need high sig for her damage, right? What she gets easier, resistance to the damaging debuff duration, right? Which is very, 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 very useful at, like, I think it's a sig 1. I don't know, man, but it's like very, very high. You're essentially immune to damaging debuffs, which is a crazy utility, man. Now, you can get around this if you use like Odin, for example. There's also a great synergy with Odin that she has here. I'll show you. Plus 5% buff potency for each fight the team has won. So that's going to be really good for stuff like incursions and also AQ, right? Because in AQ, you're doing like 15 fights. So by the time you get to the end, you're having a lot of potency on your buffs. In incursions, you're doing like 3 fights per room. So by the time you get to like room 10, it's a lot of potency for the buffs. Really, really good for her, right? Over here we have, that's nothing, right? But this we just loaded her up a little bit here. Plus 25% potency to Fury effects, plus 15% Fury and Precision buff potency, and also check this out over here, plus 25% buff duration with Gamora. So we put that together, and then Odin puts the pre-fights on her, which is really good to have, man, for certain situations, right? So yeah, what we're going to do here today is we're going to show her off in a couple different places. We're going to go, I'm going to show you just her damage, right out of the gate. Honestly, Odin in this video is going to be completely useless because we're not going to be doing full paths, and we're not going to be like trying to resist like damaging debuffs right away. Maybe I could showcase that utility and whatnot, but that's not what I use her for. I just use her because I like the character. I think she looks really cool. I think she's fun to play. But basically the way she works, the way that you want to use her is you want to, when you get to your special 1, you're going to gain a Fury buff, okay? Then you want to get to just under 2 bars of power, throw the special 1, you're going to gain another Fury buff, okay? And then you're going to just kind of repeat that. And then you're going to go for heavy attacks, plus 2100 additional critical rating as well, as much as you can. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're not even putting the Odin pre-fights on, because yeah, they'd be nice to have, but let's just go for it, man. So, the reason why she does need, higher sig for that, to easily reduce the damaging debuffs is because you start with just the 1 buff, right? But if you have Odin, you start with more. Right away, a 10k medium, dude. So let's go ahead, go for the special 1 here, bait out Winter Soldier special 1. Go for some heavy attacks now. 20k heavy attack, man. 20k heavy attack. It's really not bad. And you'll notice the regen keeps her topped up as well, which is really nice. So this is how I like to play her personally. I like to do the heavy attacks in the corner, but you can just do like regular combos too, man. And you'll notice that she has some pretty darn good damage. Angela got a really, really nice buff, man. A really nice buff. And I feel like most people feel that way. She can also parry projectile basic attacks too, which is great against, like, for example, Iron Man Infinity War. Plus you have the armor breaks on the special attacks as well to counter him. Just a lot of good stuff going on all around for her. 28k heavy attack, man. That was 56k from the 2 heavies in like 2 seconds. Can you chain it right away? Let's see if you can chain it right away. Yeah, I didn't think you could, but we gave it a shot. That's all right. But yeah, as you can see, man, the damage is really nothing to slouch at. So, damage is pretty important, man. So she has some nice utility, for sure. But also her damage is nice. And also, if we kept going, like if we just danced around here, you'll notice the regen keeps coming back. Her regen is actually really nice, especially with suicides. So I'm gaining 146 every half second, and I'm only losing 90, right? So if I dance around for a bit, I'll eventually be up to 100%. We're not going to do that. But another interesting thing about Angela, man, is that I find that like her special attacks hit really weak, but her basic attacks and her heavy attacks hit really nice. But yeah, man, Angela is a really darn fun character to use, I think, at least. So we're gonna jump into some other quests now where she's really, really good, and I will show you why. So she's really good for Enquiries nowadays, man, because even again, without Odin, he's on the team, you could put the 3 buffs on her to like raise her sig, right? And also give her aptitude and whatnot. You just don't need it for this because, where is it? Enquiries. When the defender is struck by an attack or stunned by a parry, the attacker gains a fury buff, granting 10% attack rating and blah, blah, blah. When it falls off, then you gain the, what do you call it? You gain the degen, right? But you'll notice that even at Sig 20, you have a 15%, let's just round it up to 15% damaging debuff duration, right? So you would need 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 7 buffs, okay? 7 buffs on yourself to pretty much be immune to damaging debuffs. Now, Odin can give you 3, and you start with 1, so then you start with 4, right? I'm talking straight Sig 20, like you have your 6-star Sig 20 Angela, right? For like any normal situation. And then you can also get some more from like Heimdall, gives you, I think, a precision, or no, Heimdall gives you a fury, and then if you bring magic along, you get a precision. So there are definitely ways to do it and use her for that utility at Sig 20. However, on Enquiries, you don't have to worry about your Sig. You don't need Odin or anybody with you, and I'll show you why. Because right away, you start with 1 buff, and now you already have 7. 1 combo. 1 combo is all it takes. Now here, you're going to get prowess buffs too, because it's special connoisseur and whatnot. So let's just go for this. And another one. Yeah. So I actually brought my 6-star rank 1 Angela in for this lane when I did my 7.2 run, and she just slayed it so freaking fast, man. And now keep in mind, if you do put the Odin pre-fights on, which I'll show you, I'll put them on right now. What's so good about them is that this one right here, the top one, each fight gaining the definite aptitude buff, increasing the potency of fury, armor up, and precision buffs by 15%, right? So that's fine, you know, that's decent. It's nothing like it's not really gonna make or break most fights, right? But if you're using her like in incursions, right? That combined with like the synergy as well, you're going to be getting a lot of potency, and you're also it's going to be almost as if you're starting with 15, 30, 45, 60% reduction to damaging debuffs. That's going to be good for like energy adoption nodes and stuff like caltrops, for example, right? If you dash back once, that's fine, but then you get some more buffs on you, and then eventually you have your 7 buffs and you're good to go, right? So that's what's so good about the Odin synergy and pre-fight for Angela specifically. So yeah, Angela gets a lot more utility, in my opinion, at a low sig when you do have Odin to run with her. But, you know, I really like her for like Enquiries and whatnot, and as you can see here, she really does not need it. But let's bait out a special one from this guy. Let's bait out another special one from this guy. No, actually, let's not. Let's go for a special one. 21 armor breaks. And you'll notice we're just going to heal back the recoil damage, which is so nice. There's Matador here, so we're going to have to bait out a special attack. Come on, man. Come on, Surfer, you're making me look bad. Dude, really? Dude, seriously? Oh my god. Alright, this should do it. There we go, man. Yeah, so any Enquiries node, right? There's an entire quest in Act 6 that has Enquiries on it. So she's great for that. Another thing here, for example, we'll show off with like Hulkbuster. Hulkbuster, when you crit him, he puts the shock debuff on you, right? So watch for the shock debuff the first time you crit. Check it out. If we ever crit this guy. There we go. See? Completely no shock debuff, even though it says shock on the side of the screen. Nice. It also says degenerating every 5 seconds, but also keep in mind, you're just not going to see any degen here because of the SIG ability. So, yeah, even like a 5-star rank 3 Angela would be really, really good here. I'm trying to think like where else could I even show her off, man. Like I feel like Angela on Icarus is just the coolest thing about her, for her. She's really, I mean, I feel like showing her on Buffed Up is like kind of self-explanatory. I guess we could show her on like energy adoption. Yeah, let's go to an energy adoption lane. Hold on. So in Act 7.2, they had like the superiority things. So like there are different ways to play around energy adoption, but just pretend like these were like super damaging debuffs, right? If you go into a fight with her with Odin at Sig 20, you're already going to have a 60% reduction right away. Okay? Right away. You're going to have to gain like 3 buffs, and you're not going to see any of these. So check it out. You'll notice they already have a reduction, right? Here comes the regen buff that we have. And it looks like that's all it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buffs. So Sig 20 Angela with Odin is all you need to pretty much be immune to damaging debuffs, which is really crazy to me, man. Like that's really, really good utility. Now, Angela can do this on her own too at a higher Sig. Like you just completely ignore the debuffs. You'll never ignore the Suicide Mastery debuffs, keep in mind. But yeah, you didn't even see the energy adoption nodes except for the beginning of the fight, right? But you can also test this on Caltrops real quick. Let's check it out on Caltrops. So again, at Sig 20, you do need the extra buffs. Again, if you don't have Odin, what you can do is bring Heimdall and Magic, and then you'll pretty much have your 7 buffs there, right? Your regen, armor up, fury, 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 and then 2 buffs. Yeah, so 7. So that's another way around it. But Caltrops here, all this pretty much is here is Caltrops. Plagued Mind, Static Blast, right? So we might not be able to chain the special 1 here, but let's just see what happens. So right away, you'll notice if we dash back, oop, there's a bleed. But the bleed doesn't last too long. Let's go back again, much faster that time. When we get to the special 1 here. Oh, look at this. I'm dashing back like a madman. And there are just no bleeds. No bleeds. It says bleed. See? It says bleed. But there are just no bleeds. Now, it's a lot... You might get like a 1-second bleed here. Now, it's a lot harder... Unlike this... Look at those bleeds, man. They do literally nothing. Unlike this node in particular, because we keep having our power drained, right? Yo, I just realized, man, buffed Black Panther on this node is actually a lot worse because your defensive ability accuracy is now reduced. I didn't even realize that when they buffed him. So, you can't do your typical, like, get under special 2 and then chain it and everything like that rotation, but obviously a Caltrops path, a Biohazard path, Freezer Burn path. Angela's going to be good for literally all of that stuff now, which is really, really awesome. And that's pretty much why I took her to rank 2, because she's also good for buffed up. So I use her pretty much weekly in AQ now, every now and then. All right, so I do want to show you 1 or 2 fights here with Angela with the Odin synergy I have in AQ. Now that I actually have Odin for real, I brought, you know, Angela and him both to AQ together, and she starts hitting really hard when you're in a quest like AQ where you have a lot of fights to ramp up, because every fight that you win with your team, you're going to be increasing her potency by 5%. Plus, the 6-star, the aptitude, it increases all her furies by 15% and her precision, which is like nice to have, right? So, also her armor ups too, but don't get hit, right? So, This is a buffed up path in section 2. So this was after like maybe 6 or 7 fights. So this would be about how she'd be hitting against like a boss on like any normal quest, right? You go through like 6 or 7 fights, right? It's just limber and buffed up. That's all we have going on here. She starts hitting like an animal in this fight. It's really crazy, man. She really impressed me a lot with the damage here in AQ. So my Angela is rank 2, so is Odin, and I'm debating now which one I want to take to rank 3 because Angela really, really impressed me. This was yesterday in AQ, right? So you'll see right away, man, like she's hitting okay, but once we start getting like the Fury from like the special 1 here and everything, and once we get above a bar of power, and now we have 2 Furies, right here is where we start really hitting like crazy. 17k medium attacks, 14k, that's just some insane damage, man. I also have a fight against the Day 5 Omega Red mini-boss here. So there's unblockable specials, under pressure, conflictor, aspect of death, and about 500,000 health. There's a lot of stuff going on here against this Omega Red. Angela, definitely not a top option for this fight whatsoever. So you can't really get him into the corner too easily because of conflictor here. And also you got to keep in mind that her special attacks are going to put armor breaks on the opponent. So it's going to activate conflictor and give him more power. So this is basically just going to be a less than ideal Angela fight without too many heavy attacks, without heavy chains, right? But I'm still going to spam the special 1 when I get close to special 2. But as you can see, the damage, even playing like in a less than ideal state, is pretty darn decent, man. So Omega Red is already down to about 80% health, right? And of course, since it is Omega Red, I'm trying to stay as far away from him as I possibly can. Look at the healing, by the way. It's just the healing. You can't even see it right now because I'm at 100% health, but it was healing for 262 every half second, man. With the, the debuff and also the regen. Now, because of So Saith Doom, we have a Spectre on us, so you're not going to be seeing great regen anymore, even though we are still in the positive here, losing 90 from the poison and gaining 121 with all the debuffs going on. So Angela is getting through this fight very efficiently. I feel like the way I view Angela right now is that she just kind of feels like a very reliable champion who can get through a lot of content. So as you can see, against this Omega Red, he's being very aggressive. He's throwing his special 1s, which is nice. He's now going to be at 2 bars of power, so we have to bait out a special 2 at this point, right? We're about to take some spore damage, I believe. Yeah, here we're at 10 spores. As you can see, it really takes us down quite a bit from the spore damage, and now he's going to be in the, in his death field is active, but we're throwing like 15k mediums and everything, so as long as we stay patient, we should be able to get through this fight well enough. Maintenance is about to happen in like 5 minutes, by the way. That's why I was taking this fight with Angela. I just said, let me go in and just do what I can here against this Omega Red, see if we can get section 3 open before maintenance happens, right? But yeah, man, so 25% health left, 1 minute left. Are we gonna make it? I don't know. It's gonna get down to the wire, man. It's really gonna get down to the wire, but we're throwing some nice hits, man. Some really nice damage with the Furies, and the Aptitude is definitely helping quite a bit from Odin. Oh, man. He's being very stingy with the specials now, as you can see. At this point, I'm getting a little nervous. My heart's pumping a little bit. It's been like 30 seconds, and I hardly even hit him at all in that 30-second span, right? But as you can see, he's now down to 15% health, and we have 26 seconds left. Can we get off 15% health in 20 seconds? That seems like a bit of a tall order, but let's see. At this point, we're going to have to start being incredibly aggressive. So we'll get him into the corner, go for the special 1, activate Conflictor so we can now go for a parry. Let's go for some heavy attacks finally. A nice 23k heavy attack. Let's go for another one. With 4 seconds left, we got through the fight. So yeah, Angela, man, even at rank 2 is just an absolute beast, man. She's just, she's an absolute beast, and I'm putting this into the video, and I believe I talk more about her right now. But Angela's a top Cosmic champ, in my opinion, man. A top Cosmic champ. And if I wasn't, like, saving all of my Cosmic T5CC for, like, future Hercules rank ups, because he's going to be my first rank 4 and probably my first rank 5, I think I'd probably take Angela rank 3. But that's just me. I think she's cool, you know? But she's also fine at rank 2, so I feel very comfortable leaving her and using her at rank 2. But that's going to be it for this one, my dudes. If you did enjoy this video, do your boy a favor and drop a big ol' like. Comment what you think about Angela, buffed Angela, in the comment section below. You know, I could have made this an "Is Angela underrated" video, but I don't think anybody thinks Angela's underrated, so, or I don't think that anyone thinks that she's bad. So, that's going to be it for this one. Hope to see you around.